Good morning students. So this is about the type study of scoliodon. So first we'll discuss that is the nervous system of scoliodon, or you can call it a central nervous system. So the nervous system of scoliodon, which includes divisions like peripheral nervous system, central nervous system and autonomic nervous system. So here we are concentrating only on central nervous system, which has been divided into brain and spinal cord. Again, the brain has been divided into forebrain, midbrain and hindbrain. So central nervous system. So this central nervous system, or CNS, which consisting of brain and the spinal cord. The brain is highly organized and shows many advancements. The brain, it is divided into three primary parts, that is forebrain, that is prosencephalon, midbrain or mesencephalon, the hindbrain or rhobencephalon. And here is the picture which clearly shows about the brain of the scoliodon, which the first picture which shows about the dorsal view, B it is the ventral view, and C it is the diagrammatic longitudinal section, and you can see the number or the position of different ventricles which are present in the brain of the shark. So the forebrain, consisting of a massive undivided cerebral hemisphere, from the anterior end of the cerebral hemisphere arises two stout olfactory peduncles. Each terminates into a large bilobed olfactory lobe. So these olfactory lobes lie close to the olfactory capsules. Each olfactory nerve is composed of many bundles of nerve fibers. So the surface of the cerebrum is smooth and the walls are thick. A small opening called the neuropore is present on the mid-ventral surface of the cerebrum. So the posterior part of the forebrain, that is the diencephalon, it is very short, and the pineal organ projects from the roof of the diencephalon and the floor of the diencephalon, which is well formed. A halo infundibulum is given off from the floor of the diencephalon. So the infundibulum, it is dilated to form two oval thick walled bodies called lobi inferos, whose distal ends are produced into two thin walled glandular sacs called savae vesiculosa, which produces cerebrospinal fluid. So the lobi inferes are the center for that is gustations and the smell. The optic chiasma lies in front of the infundibulum. The optic chiasma is formed by the discussion of the nerve fibers of two optic nerves. In this picture, you can clearly see the presence of the optic chiasma and the forebrain. There you can see the olfactory bulb and also the part of cerebrum. So next it is the midbrain, which is a large and consisting of two round optic lobes which are situated just behind the diencephalon. The midbrain is considered as the center of coordination. The midbrain, consisting of highly developed cerebellum and medulla oblongata. The cerebellum contains a small cavity and a center of coordination is divided into three lobes. The medulla oblongata is a triangular and the anterior end gives a pair of hollow corpora restiformia with trace of convolutions in the adults. The medulla, which controls the respiration, the hindbrain controls swimming movements. So So the ventricles are the cavities of the brain. The ventricles of the brain are moderately developed. The ventricles communicate the central canal of the spinal cord, which contains cerebrospinal fluid. So there are so many cavities which are present in different regions of the brain, that is rhinoceles, which are present cavities of the olfactory sacs, lateral ventricles, cavities of cerebrum, foramen of Monro opening from cerebrum to the third ventricle, diocele, cavities of diancelon, iter, cavities of midbrain, optocele, cavities of optic lobes, epicele, cavity of, that is cerebellum, metacele, that is the cavities of medulla. These are the different parts of the brain, and along with the ventricles or the cavities of the brain. Next, it is the spinal cord. The spinal cord in the scoliodon shows a advanced, that means the definite advancement towards the plan of higher vertebrates. The spinal cord is provided with pure matter only. The gray matter is arranged into the dorsal and the ventral horns. Spinal canal shows a central canal surrounded by gray matter, which consisting of nerve cells and filled with cerebrospinal fluid. External white consisting of, that is the nerve fibers. So this is about the central nervous system, which includes the brain, as well as the brain has been divided, central nervous system which has been divided into brain and spinal cord, and also the ventricles are the cavities which are present in the brain, which constitutes the central nervous system of the shark. So next, it is the urinogenital system of scoliodon, where in all the vertebrates, that is the excretory and the reproductive organs are closely related to each other, so they are dealt together. These systems together, they are known as urinogenital system, and the organs are known as urinogenital organs. The sexes are separate, and the males, they possess copulatory organs, they are called as claspers. Male urinogenital organs. The excretory organs consisting of a pair of elongated kidneys, ureters, and urinogenital sinus. The functional adult kidneys are mesonephric. The anterior portion of the kidney is non-functional, and posterior portion becomes greatly developed. The kidney, they are composed of coiled glandular uriniferous tubules or nephrons. Each tubule consists of a double-walled cup, they are called as Bowman's capsule, enclosing glomerulus and a much coiled renal tubule. A few renal tubules open into a common collecting tubule. The kidney tubules have a peculiar property of reabsorbing, that is the urea. The collecting tubules of the anterior non-renal portion of the kidney open into the Wolffian duct, and the posterior tubules open into the ureter, which in turn opens into the urinogenital sinus. The mesonephric duct divides into two, that is the dorsal one, it is named as Wolffian duct, and the ventral one, which is called as Mullerian duct. The Wolffian duct in males and becomes the vas deferens, which is connected with the vas efferentia from the testis. The Mullerian duct becomes the oviduct in females. The kidney are extremely elongated structure extending from root of the liver to the cloacal region. The posterior portion is designated as a kidney proper, and it is greatly developed. The anterior portion becomes narrower and takes part in conveying the genital products. This part is designated as the organ of Leydig or epididymis. So first we have to divide into male reproductive system and female reproductive system. So that the testes are paired elongated organs. You can see in this picture. Each testis, it is attached to the dorsal body wall by peritoneal membrane called mesorchium and posteriorly attached with the cecal gland. The sperm cell escape by vas efferentia into vas deferens, which becomes extremely coiled in the anterior portion of the kidney. The vas deferens become very much dilated to form a seminal vesicle. The seminal vesicle opens into the urinogenital sinus, which in turn opens into the cloaca posteriorly. So the walls of the urinogenital sinuses have become evaginated to form a sperm sac. A pair of sacs designated as the siphons are present are located under the skin on the ventral aspects of the body. In the posterior of the sacs, there are continued as a siphon tubes which open to the groove of claspers of respective sites. The siphons are not connected with the genital system. They contain sea water and help in expulsion of the sperm through the clasper groove. Female urinogenital system. So when you talk about that is excretory organs, the excretory organs of female differs with those of male. So first one, in that there is no direct connection between the kidney and the genital organ, whereas in males there is a direct connection between them. The anterior part of each kidney is extremely reduced. Both the ureters unite behind by a single median urinary aperture into a triangular chamber called that is urinary sinus. The urinary sinus receives the ureters only and the genital ducts open into the cloaca. So the anterior portion is degenerated and the posterior portion becomes narrower and contains masses of coiled uriniferous tubules. The inner margin of each kidney arises a ureter which opens into the urinary sinuses and later opens into the cloaca by an aperture on a papilla. So coming to the reproductive organs, in females there is no connection between the kidney and the genital organs. The kidney are typical, expecting that the uterus unite posteriorly and open by a single urinary aperture into the urinary sinus. You can see in that picture. The ovaries are 2 in number and are kept in position by peritoneal folds called mesovarium. The size, shape and the color of the ovaries vary greatly according to the age of an individual. So the pair of epigonial organs is present between the ovary and the rectal gland. The oviducts are very long tubes and remain united both posteriorly and anteriorly. Posteriorly, the 2 oviducts unite to form vagina, which opens into the cloaca. The oviducts converge and opens into the coelomic cavity by a longitudinal slit-like opening designated as a oviducal funnel. At the anterior portion of each oviduct, there is a dilated shell gland which has but little significance in scoliodon. As scoliodon is viviparous, the posterior portion of the oviducts becomes dilated to form the uterus from the development of the egg. The number of embryo present inside one uterus varies greatly in different species of scoliodon. The mucous membrane of uterus become divided into number of compartments, each of which houses an embryo. The number of compartments varies directly with number of embryos. The eggs are large and heavily yolked. Scoliodon is viviparous and gives birth to living eggs and the fertilization is internal. It is claimed that during copulation, the claspers are introduced into the cloacal aperture of the female for the transmission of spermatozoa. The egg of the scoliodon is strongly telolacithal and the cleavage is restricted to a small germinal disc which floats on the top of the yolk mass. So this is about the urinogenital system of shark. Thank you.